And I really do not love that the world thinks of Plan B as the abortion pill. And what happens next? Well, then you're pregnant. Plan B does not abort a pregnancy that is viable. First of all, it's called Plan B for a reason. Now, how does it work? If it's not an abortion pill, then what does it do? Now, maybe that's why it gets that bad rep of being the abortion pill. And with those three things, Plan B is actually pretty effective. We're living in a political environment today that is a lot of craziness surrounding abortion. And there's a lot of legislation, there's a lot of protests, there is just a lot in the news about it, right? Well, I am not here to make any political statements, and I am not here to give you medical advice. But what I am here to do is to talk to you about something called Plan B and to clear up the misinformation surrounding it, to make sure that you understand that Plan B is not an abortion drug. I think there is a lot of misinformation out there about the morning after pill. So we're going to clear some of that up today. We're going to talk about how it's used, when it's not effective, and how to use it most effectively. My name is Megan Galloway. I'm a certified nurse midwife, and I have been at this since 2012, and I've helped a lot of women with birth control. And I really do not love that the world thinks of Plan B as the abortion pill. So let's clear up some of that misinformation today. First of all, it's called Plan B for a reason. Ladies, it is not Plan A. It should not be Plan A. Plan B is for those whoopsie moments. Your condom broke, or you had unprotected sex because nobody had a condom and whoopsies. But really, you should be using a reliable form of contraception. But if you're one of those out there who had an oopsies moment, Plan B is available for you. And it's available by prescription, but I think the reason a lot of people like it is because you can get it yourself over the counter. It's called the morning after pill for a reason, though. It definitely needs to be used soon after an unprotected active intercourse. In fact, the on-label use is to use it within 72 hours. Sometimes it does have a little bit of efficacy within 5 days, but anytime after 5 days, it's not effective. And I would encourage you to truly use it the morning after and not wait 3 to 5 days, because you're risking it a little bit more if you wait. Now, how does it work? If it's not an abortion pill, then what does it do? So the Plan B is really just a hefty dose of progesterone. Now, we've all heard of progesterone and estrogen, right? They're the two predominant female hormones, and progesterone is what keeps you from ovulating. So what it does is, if you are coming up on ovulation, it's going to halt that process and keep you from ovulating. It also has a couple of other ways it works, and one of those is that even if you have ovulated and the sperm and the egg match up, it can help keep them from implanting. Now, maybe that's why it gets that bad rep of being the abortion pill, but that's the same mechanism of action that a copper IUD uses. So if you don't think a copper IUD is an abortion, then I don't think that Plan B falls within that category. So depending on your version of things, if you're okay with a copper IUD, then you should be okay with Plan B. The last thing that it does is it can slow down motility. And this is actually one of the things that a progesterone IUD does. So it keeps the egg moving slower through the fallopian tube, it keeps the sperm moving slower through the uterus, and hopefully they don't match up. And with those three things, Plan B is actually pretty effective. But what happens if you've already ovulated? And you already ovulated, and the sperm and the egg match up, and they implant, and what happens next? Well, then you're pregnant. Plan B does not abort a pregnancy that is viable. So if you've already ovulated and you try to take Plan B, the effect of Plan B is significantly less than if you take it before you've ovulated. And if implantation has already occurred, there's no way Plan B is working. You are pregnant. So if you've missed a period lately and you took a Plan B, I would still take a pregnancy test, because that doesn't mean that you're not pregnant. And like I said, Plan B is called Plan B for a reason. If you want to learn more about your birth control options, which I highly, highly recommend you get on something that is reliable, check out this video here on your birth control options. In fact, I'm going to put a link in the description for a series on birth control because I think that there are a lot of options out there and I want you to be able to learn about the ones that might be right for you. And if you've learned nothing else in this video, I hope that you've learned that Plan B is not an abortion medication. And for those of you out there who have taken this medication and felt shame because people are telling you you had an abortion, that is not true. It is a form of birth control. It's not as effective as other forms, but it works well for most people. Ultimately, good job you trying to protect yourself from pregnancy, even if you were a little late in doing so. Thanks for listening, everybody, and stay healthy.